Hmm. Well, hello there. Fancy seeing you again. On a Monday? I'm doing pretty good. I've been driving around, which is my favorite thing to do. It's always been my favorite thing to do. Just going anywhere I can through the night on these back roads where there's nobody and just listening to music, making music, where I can escape from all the pissy pussies, the ego and status and reputation games, the constant tear down from people less than. Because obviously, if they were more than, I wouldn't be on their radar at all. The people that are more than me, and there's not many, they're filthy freaking rich. And they really respect me. Owen Cook, Elliot Hulse, even MGK liked me a lot. Local rappers said I was awe-inspiring, hearing me freestyle out in the woods by myself when I thought nobody was listening, and they, for some reason, wandered out to take a piss and found me in a forest grove deep in the woods behind a skate park. Today I freestyled, and what came to me, or came through me, no diddy, is really funny because it was about minding your own fucking business. And then I look on my phone and the first comment is none of your fucking business, commenting some bullshit. So I'm not sure where I'm going to go next, but I'm really glad I had this breakthrough. It took 12 hours of driving, and it took a lot of music from my past that I used to listen to get back to understanding more about my gifted ability to create and see in another place. I've really at like back when I was on top of things, and I mean like I had to fight hard for it every single day to be able to actually be different and to actually grow and make something unique and special of yourself takes a psychotic level of perseverance every single day to continue compounding and not let the world get to you. That's hard. So I can understand how people could see me back then and see me as something um most people that don't strive for the greatest will not be able to recognize and understand it when they see it. They can only see where they're at. It's called the reticular activation system. It's a part of your brain that means that the things that you tend to think about and focus on is all you see in your reality outside. So these people that live in self-hatred and they're constantly self-attacking, when they see something that might inspire them or break them free from it, all they can really think about is projecting that self-attack onto the thing that might break them free. So I said I was going to do White Week, just where I bait. I was baiting because we're in Capricorn and Capricorn governs politics. So this would be the best time of the year to really go at the lemmings. And I just do it for more understanding because I have a photographic memory. So it's just more experience I can draw on from the future. When I'm in the future, I can draw from this, what I've learned. I'm going to say it. When you really gain that understanding of a higher power, when you can actually wake up and you can see the world for what it really is, it's amazing. It's so special. It's the greatest gift you can have. But it'll kill you because the world isn't ready for it. And it takes so much to maintain it. Especially with this fact about how people will try to tear down things they don't understand. Because people are selfish. So I saw some beam of light and it like twisted around my eye and I got a flash and I clear as day heard it say, "That's why you self-sacrifice." And there was so much respect from whatever that was. Talking about how what I do here was necessary for a lot of people to heal because no one, I'll talk about a lot of kids that were in their 20s and they were just like me when I was 16, just like my brother, that they just wanted to go out by themselves and go on this journey alone as a young adult and go somewhere far away where they think it's going to be beautiful and amazing. To be in this position now at 26 where I can meet them where they're at, where I was, and be able to not only give them every single tool that they would need, but also in the suffering of the wilderness journey, taking it slow, getting as much of it as possible, as much experience in this place as possible, because it's hard to get here. You would have to go through so much to get where I've been. And nobody's really willing to do it. Would you be willing to go do what I've done? Would you put yourself through this? It would be impossible. You can't put yourself through this. But to be able to show people who their life is not meant to, when I tell you that chosen ones or whatever are chosen, that doesn't mean it's for any, it doesn't necessarily mean good. Some people have to go through things so that other people don't have to. And there's just been tons and tons of people, hundreds of people, possibly thousands of people. Because I've got about 300,000 views, but I'm just talking in my life outside of YouTube. This is just something that was fun for me at the time. I really like this. I really like this also because of I enjoy learning about people in unconventional ways. I like to play with people's not beliefs, but their false commitments, maybe. The things that they really feel like they are, but obviously they're not, but they'll never be able to see because they don't have the knowledge and understanding. I like to play with false egos. And to clearly understand my connection with spirit and understand where I am in reality, and to have it read back to me by tarot readers across the world that don't know me and don't know the channel, but they can clearly see the things nobody else can understand about my life, and seeing them get amazed by it, seeing them uncover the meticulously crafted image of Casey and how it's so far from arrogance, it's so far from confidence, it's so far from ego and selfishness. It's the realest. And all I ever loved, all I ever, like I told you, when I tell you I grow up completely alone, and I mean completely alone, like it's not like you live alone at your family's, but you can walk down the street and there are people on the street. I mean completely alone. Where it's just, as a child, for most of my childhood, it was literally just me, and there's nothing else except a hummingbird that would come every day, and occasionally we would see a beaver down the road, but that was it. And look how far I've come. It's getting easier for me to come back because what trauma had done to me was take everything away, and I was left with nothing inside. And I was trying to fight and create again, and there was nothing. And I was constantly trying to bring back through the old me from my memories, and it wasn't working. And after this journey, I found this self assurance, competence, um, dignity, self respect that can't be taken from me like they did before and they've done 1,000 times. There's nothing you could do to me that hasn't already happened to me except kill me. And I remember being 20 and going out wandering alone during COVID when no one else was outside, walking alone through empty town streets by myself and freaking out because I thought I had a brain injury, but I had been completely kicked out of the physical. And I couldn't bring the spirit into the body anymore. I could pilot it around like a Sims character, but I was completely taken out. And I couldn't, it was completely separate, my spiritual and my physical and my social. And I was really struggling to make sense of it because back then I was running from stigma like schizo and fighting for my dreams, knowing I had some creative edge and something special. And I remember sitting down and asking God and the universe, because I've been able to look up and say, am I on the right path? Is there anyone up there? And then right where I look, I'll get a shooting star. And then all the birds will go, "Ding!" But sometimes I'll see a cat alien speaking to me and I'll go, meow. And I'm like, why did I do that? And then, but then scrolling, I'll see a bunch of people that are just like, they jolt the same way and go, meow. I was like, okay, there's more there, whatever that is, there's more to it, whether it's the Lyrans or what, or the ancient Egyptians, the cats they used to worship. But the point is I asked God to make me a badass. I said, I really want to be a real man. I don't know this stuff that once 2020 took over and black was the forefront of everything. They all say, you ain't real. And I don't know what that means. I don't want to be fake. So help me be real. I want to be the best version of myself possible. And all I really ask is that you don't let me give up, make me keep going every day. If I can't see where I'm going or supposed to go, get me there. And I'll continue to be brave and take risks. Even if I can't think right, I'll still do it. And at first it was bad. At first it was a lot of me overthinking, analysis paralysis, into not being able to function for 12 hours at a time. But through this, and the only way I would have gotten it was through this. I have something now. I have it. I became everything I asked the universe for in a way that's better than I could have ever imagined, because back then it was all about crafting myself into something. And now it's just that I am something. I don't have to craft anything. I was grown, not imagined. So I don't feel bad for hating comments, man, because I know you don't understand. I'm just sort of confused. I'm confused how people can get the way that I see from the people that this channel attracts. And I see it that there must be something that I have value for. It must be a learning experience for me. It's a gift. I'll really come here with some talking points, and then something else will throw me on tangents, but I don't regret them afterwards. But yeah, I agree with you guys. No one ever said I didn't have problems. You know what I'm saying? But who doesn't? But most of the things that people think I have problems with aren't real at all. It's just a projection. You want to hear the possum story again? I was going to a wildlife pull-off the other day, and there was a possum on the road beside the car. I drove further down. I was like, fuck, I hope I didn't scare it. And it's playing possum. So I turned around and I was going to pick it up and hold it on camera and pet it because I know possums are actually really clean and that when you hold it, they don't bite or anything. So it's nice. Even if it might scare the possum, it's not going to hurt it. When I got there, the possum was in the middle of the road, just kind of walking along straight. So I pulled to the side, rolled the window. I was like, hey, man, what's up? Not trying to scare it, but just like, hey, and it slowly went off there. And in that split second, as soon as the possum was off of the road, a truck it's like 20 miles an hour in that road. A truck barreled in going like probably 60, and where its tires was exactly where the possum would have been. It would have killed it. If I didn't go back and try to play with it, it would be dead. That's my possum story. But yeah, the YouTube channel was because I wasn't able to get towards my dreams. When I say that I really went to every single business in that small town and I went into the shop and asked them and told them my situation and asked if they knew anybody. It wasn't like, can you please help me? It was, do you know anyone that has an opportunity for me to contribute? Because I want to work hard. I want to learn carpentry. I want to work on farms. I want to work at the grocery store. I want to work at the Dunkin' Donuts. And I would go there and they would never get back to me. And at the same time, it really was that as soon as I got back, because that was a 5 mile walk, I would walk 5 miles, and it was usually negative degrees. And back then, I didn't have good boots or socks. I only felt safe to walk at night, so I didn't even know that there was a bus. When you're in that level of survival mode, in that level of depression, it's very hard to think at all. But I was on a mission. So I would go there, talk to as many people as I could. I would follow up daily and just say, daily turned into like every couple days and then every couple weeks. But at first it was every day. And by the time I got back to the car, People were throwing things at me. They were following me to the park and ride. They were revving the car engine next to the car, and I'd look over, and it's like a high schooler just staring at me, probably on drugs, doing donuts and speeding off. People threw all their trash. So when I would wake up, there would be mountains of trash forming. Somebody did take a gun and put it to my head while I was asleep. Somebody did stand by the window jerking off. Somebody did try to push me into the car. And I had had so many bad instances with police, I didn't trust them. I figured if I called and made any nuisance at all, any noise, they would join in on it. That's the experience I had. And I mean, I was right. Every time I went into that gas station, the only business that's within 5 miles was that gas station, because I'd already tried McDonald's. And I applied to Subway, I applied to the gas station, I applied for overnights too. They really needed work. They were flying their now hiring sign. But I'd go in and they would follow me through the store. A good story is that they have the Subway sandwiches that they didn't use. So like the stuff they were going to throw out, they make sandwiches and wrap them up and put them there. So I was just looking to see if they had any chicken teriyaki. And then I feel like a hit spiritually. The guy runs up to me. It's the manager, and he's this close to my head, but he's a bit taller. And I was like, hey man, what's up? Trying to be friendly. And he went, if you need ranch, it's right there. And I said, well, if you had better sandwiches, I might get one. And then I left. Fast forward like a month. I went in and the eclipse was the next day. If you remember, the military had launched a bunch of stuff from Antarctica. There was like proof that the government released that there was just some giant, dark, cold something that started from Antarctica and covered the entire Atlantic Ocean. The entire Atlantic Ocean dropped in a lot of temperatures, and then the eclipse was the next day. So I was like, there's a good chance something's going to happen. And also, hopefully you can think about that, like how it must have felt. I haven't really gone into, right now I'm sitting where I was before I got there. I used to work as a housekeeper, and they treated me really bad. Like they starved me, and they wouldn't let me eat. And the paychecks were bi-weekly, so I went without food for 2 weeks. They threatened to tow my car every time I pulled in because it had a temporary tag, and that made that ski resort look bad to have a temporary tag with a blanket. But to park here is about 10 miles to the place. So I was like running on fumes. Eventually I broke down. I ran out of gas, and I snuck into the ski resort garage, and I accidentally used the wrong type of fluid. It smelled like gas, it looked like gas, but it was DEF fluid, so I fucked the car up, trying to get to work. And then just before that, when I tell you it's been a really long journey, it really has. The point was it was 80 cents for a soda. I said, hey man, I'm having a really bad night, and I haven't got paid yet. Usually a church in West Virginia, family sends me their tithe instead of giving it to the church. So in a couple days I should have some money, but for right now it's 80 cents. I will come back and pay for it, and I'll even go right up to you. I won't come back in until I have it, and you and I can I'll show you, I'll pay the $1.60. It would be to cover 2 of them, so you'll get profit from it. But I need this fountain soda for myself. I haven't eaten in days. I haven't had anything to drink. It just feels good to go back to the car and sit in the cold. And he was like, well, I can't tell you it's a good idea. It is a crime, you know. So then a week later, and I did go back and pay for it. A week later, I go in to get a water because I figured out that Subway has water. Because back then it was just one thing after the next. I need to go here and get this and then go back. so I can preserve what's left of me so I can continue thinking and creating and trying to dream my way out, basically, because I had no other options. I was like, there's something I have to create to get out of this situation because trying the simple stuff like going and getting a job isn't working. So there's something I need to figure out how to do. So I was trying to do cryptocurrency and things like that. And in a place where you're like this, it really does feel like energy vampirism. Like you're thinking and thinking and thinking, and then you get to a breakthrough and you feel close to God, and then all of a sudden the car starts over there and the guy's staring at you like this, and then he just pulls up next to you and brrr. And if that doesn't work in draining all your life force energy, they usually would get out and just attack me in the past. So that's a lot of residual trauma. So trying to hold it in like that. But basically, when I found out they had water, I went in. I got a water. The manager whips a trash bag at me. She walks up and was like, "Are you gonna pay for that?" And I said, "Would you like to pay for anything?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can you name one thing you'd like to pay for?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Stop being prejudiced." I took the water. I walked out. Coincidentally, there was a white woman that was old and had dreaded gray hair, and a Bob Marley hoodie. I think it's not real. I think it's a simulation. Because my life gets very cartoonish like that. And it all relates around my teaching of the people in the space that I inhabit. So I said, "Hey, I love your shirt." And she was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I like your shirt." And I was like, "Thanks. Have a good day." I made it maybe 300 feet before the state police are there with their guns drawn. I'm on a bridge. The bridge it's like a huge drop to the highway below. They corner me on the bridge with their guns drawn. They walk up to me and say nothing and just try to grab at my pants. I go, "What the fuck? I do not consent to a search." And I pulled my phone out and I was like, "You cannot just walk up and search me like that." And what they said wasn't coherent. I can't remember exactly what they said, but it was like basically gibberish. I said, "Leave me alone. I'm going to go back to my car. I don't know why you're here, but I don't have any weapons. I haven't committed a crime. Please leave me alone." And they said something like, "Oh, well, you're going to get trespassed from a lot of places pretty soon." I cross the street. He yells something as I'm walking away. The guy yells something at me, and it seems really prideful and just out of touch with reality. They get in the car and speed by me, going probably 60, like as fast as the cars on the highway, this close to me. Goes to my car, slams the paper on my window. They steal things from my car, like my fire starter, my machete. I I don't go to my car. I walk up there and I call every state police in the state. And I said, "These two cops just walked up and tried to search me illegally when I said I don't consent to a search, and there's nothing I did wrong. They didn't explain anything to me, and they kept trying to forcefully open my pants. If I was a girl, I would make a lot of money from that. You guys need to get your shit together." Turns out that woman that hit me with the trash bag told them that I whipped the hatchet out and swung it at her and tried to kill her. Then the state police took my car from me, which had my birth certificate. And the only way I got my birth certificate, because I've been trying for that long, was getting this car and then driving, I think it was 300 miles to New York City and just sitting in the office and waiting and then driving back. And every town I went to after that town was worse. But can you see how hard it would be to manufacture that experience? There's literally nothing you could do. So now I'm impervious to dominance and status and reputation games. Because all of that works with your theories and theoreticals and social stigma and all this. I prayed to God 5 years ago to make me a badass, and I went through the worst suffering people can endure. Violent, horrible life that broke me to being literally unable to move. And it's not like you just come back from it. It's like you have to crawl, and then you can walk a little bit, and then people show up angry that you're walking, and they beat you back to crawling. It was sitting out in the woods, and the traumas got so bad I couldn't reverse it. I couldn't reverse what they had done to me. And trying to find a way to dissolve it and change it back into the things that I had felt like trauma had taken from me. And then it was when I found out how to keep it a little bit, I was in this bet, whatever that is, made the crows mad. So the crows are there to take it away. Sometimes I've recorded like 8 hours of them just outside the tent screaming at me until they kill me like the people that tried to do did. And then you find out that I'm a Sagittarius in the 8th house. The 8th house is constant rebirth, and Sagittarius is growth, philosophy, inspiration, religion, colleges, higher levels of thinking. But at the highest competency, which is divine childhood, which is why you get that momentum with this ancient wisdom. Sagittarius also is, I listened to Divine Astrology yesterday, which is a guy that devoted, I think he was 70 in 2020. So he's like 76 now, and he started doing it when he was 17. He said that Sagittarius is black people. So I don't know what that means. But the biggest streamer on Twitch, Kai Cenat, that was kind of his thing as a Sagittarius, was rejuvenating, reviving the youth in that culture. The point was that my sister and I are both Sagittarius, and we both were given African names. And I don't know, most of the women that we tend to, like my nieces are all black. It's not about code switching or trying to be real or anything. I'm just talking about the higher level of creation here. I think it was really cool. My dad had 2 black labs and then 2 black cats now. And then he has 2 Sagittarius children with African names. And he doesn't even realize that. I think that's pretty cool. But when I talk about how you can't manufacture the story, and then the story happens to be exactly aligning with the astrology and the numerology. And I mean, I've had a one-on-one conversation with a YouTuber that has 2.5 million subs, I think. And he used to be the therapist for the Hollywood elite before he became spiritual and saw that it was bad, and he made a YouTube channel about it instead. And back when 1 million subscribers was a huge deal, like only like Smosh had more than 1 million. I think he was like the 10th most subscribed channel when YouTube was first made. Up until like 2013 or something, he was in the top 10. And now he has like 20,000 views, and he just kind of does it every day as like he loves it. So I had a one-on-one with him for a long time, and he doesn't think there's anything wrong with me. He thinks I'm really special. He even gave me my money back because I paid for it, and he gave me the money back. And that was in 2020. So he has no idea where I'm at now. That's really all I wanted to say. So we'll read some hate comments. Where am I from? I'm from Wilmington, Vermont, but I don't live there anymore. Sorry to hear that, Boone. Boone went a little crazy, I saw. He was posting raps on his Discord thing, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Thanks, not your kidney. How did you guys find my phone number? One of you started texting me out of the blue yesterday. But yeah. The YouTube channel was because I literally couldn't make the music I was trying to make. And I had way bigger dreams than just music. And asking for help didn't work. Trying to be a part of society didn't work. They turned on me. And the only reasonable explanation I can think of was envy at a foundational level. You could say envy plus societal brainwashing. The people that in this state tend to have a really low IQ. And they're sort of raised to be really, really hateful, cruel people. But mainly, I think it was just spiritual. I have some special energy. And when I finally fight back against all the shit they did to me and I can get it back, it makes everybody really mad. Except girls, who love it. Everybody wants to know where I live. With New Jersey, there's a lot of people there, though. Cities are much different than out here. When I went through the cities, they have UV lights now that they put over the street lights that are purple. And when you drive through it, it feels like a microwave. Like all the stuff that I felt and I thought, and all the emotions I had, and the things I was trying to create that I carried with me from here when I was going to New York City. When I went under those purple lights, I literally, like that, forgot everything. It felt like everything was just gone. It was like a microwave. Thanks, Julie. I had to drive there. I don't believe it, man. But when I was sleeping in the car, I naturally just get back. I sort of emanate the forest because that's what I've been in for so long. So I learned basically how to keep this presence naturally, like subconsciously now, innately, that would make the birds feel safe, like the foraging birds. Because that's what I would do. I would wake up and then I learned how to keep the crows away. And that became learning how to be apart with the little birds and be like a protective bubble. So I woke up this morning and I did it again because it's just kind of, I accidentally do it now. Become like this big bubble of peace and protection. And a flock of geese landed next to me and they stayed there till I left. And then when I left, they all flew with me and then flew away. What kind of music you into? I mean, today I listened to Mac Miller. Tried to listen to Zach Bryan's new album. Listened to Mon Rivia or whatever. There's nobody like Mac Miller. What a special life he had. And Swimming was just him talking about the same the same paranoid schizophrenic shit. Validating people's crazy beliefs about the truth and then saying he's going to blow the whistle before it's all over and then get out. He literally says that in one of his songs on his best album. Yeah, Mon Rivia and Zach Bryan, and then they're new. I'd say John Bellions is pretty good, but now that I'm older and I've gotten more into music, for his time it was really good, but it was only for that time, and he didn't grow, and that's why his last album flopped. But he's a Capricorn, so I mostly just listen to native music now. And then occasionally God is giving artists this blessing and they work with spirit to create something to enhance the collective consciousness. So that could sprout up anywhere, but you'll notice it'll have the colors of the year that I talk about. So 2025 was red and gold, red and yellow. So you saw like Jesse Wells, Evan Honer, and I said 2026 is going to be green and red and gray. So now Zach Bryan drops his album in 2026 and it's green and red. Those artists are kind of just taking in and working with the universe. But like Mac Miller, back before 2020 and the world changed, you could live in your little pocket dimension and your perspective mattered and your character and all this. It was less unified in Aquarius and more individual like Pisces, where it's based on Neptune and the dreams. So I really like going back and listening to Swimming. And Zach Bryan's album is all right, but you can tell he drinks, you can tell that he didn't let go of his pride. You can tell he 2026 is the end of country music. Late 2023 to early 2026 to right now is where country music stops. Country music will not be, the collective consciousness won't be interested in it anymore. But from 2020, late 2023 into early 2026, that's when country music went from blues to like bluegrass, native music, resonators, country. And at the end of it, we're moving more towards the people that are masterful at I mean, we went through folk, but the artists that had mastered the country scene, like those independent artists that we had followed on their journey, like Zach Bryan, they understood because they started off as the I Am, and it was more about their own creative, putting their heart into the music. And at the masterful of it, they stepped back from that. It became less about self and more about creating the atmosphere and the background music for the country. They realized that it was less about putting your headphones in and identifying with the music and more about playing something that changes the space of the room. Cody says, why do homeless people know all the answers? Because they're attuned to a higher level of this experience. And they have the strongest ability to maintain their inner self because of how much of their day is spent with a horde of demonic energy trying to take it from them. Even the ones that are completely stuck in the drinking and drugging, and they're just out of it, there's still this feral fireball inside that is righteous. Just homeless people were built for survival. Because homeless people were built for survival. I don't know if maybe they were made for survival. They're definitely built for survival now. But the problem is, without good medicine, the homeless people really, like the junkies really need the Native Americans. They have the perspective, but they don't have the teachings. So they don't, they've learned the ability to be hijacked by entities, but they don't know the ability to attune themselves to the right ones. They spent so long chasing the dragon, they forgot how to be the phoenix. Homeless people want to be homeless or else they wouldn't be homeless. Somebody says. And then someone tried to take away, they tried to attack natives. And one of the people that I kept, one of the haters, it's just dumb white people shit. Driving up from New York, I was in this. Also, I want to say, New York, all the ground was like brown, dead grass. As soon as I passed over into Vermont, the grass was green. Also in New York, there was instances where people would be kind of riding my tail here, trying to get me to speed up or whatever, or move out of the way so they could get by. Or if I accidentally, like, the roads went like this and I had to get in front of them, and I could tell the person was mad, but it was more like, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. In Vermont, there was immediately, as soon as I got in there, there was this fat old white guy and his son in a truck behind him, two big lifted trucks, and they were trying to push everybody off the road. And eventually they got mad at somebody and then tried to box him in and stop. And I was like, it's literally just a 5-mile difference between normal people and completely insane. It must be the streetlights, because that's when the streetlights stopped. Ronan, I've only had a car for 11 days now. Say a negative thing about Native Americans? I've just never had a bad experience with Native Americans. Ever. Where did I sleep before? I was in a tent down the railroad tracks. And then before that, I was in a abandoned sugaring shack. And then the guy sold the property. And then he decided not to sell the property. And then before that, I was in a bike accident because somebody cut my brakes, or they twisted my brakes. So I couldn't go back up into the woods. So I was out by the river behind a high school for the summer. Before that, I was back in the cab. Before that, I was at a motel for a month. Before that, I was in a tent 110 miles north. Really far out in the mountains, where it was like -60 wind chill. And I barely made it. Like I did have, the worst fever was 106. And before that, I just, last year, or 2024 in June, I left that town and I walked all the way that 110 miles. So I was just in between towns. Homeless shelter is so bad in the US. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think the internet is kind of taking over the gambling game. But I got stuff I'm trying to do. Hey, if everyone here sent me $20, I'd have like $600. Wouldn't that be crazy? The shelters are people there. The people in the shelters are in survival mode, and part of that is constant hoarding of the energy. And they have tons of different tools that they've used, and not many people are as righteous, so they use the bad ones. So you'll sleep in a shelter and you'll feel like one of the fat junkies or whatever are trying to take all the energy, and everyone will go, oh, come on. Some people get feral and be like, what? Don't do it. Don't try it. And usually that guy will be like a bloater from The Last of Us, where they just emit this spore and then suddenly everything smells, and he didn't fart or anything. It's just his pheromones or whatever. And then you just have to sit and deal with it. And then the energy that comes with that. So then you spend the rest of your day kind of trapped in those bad codes. So that can be tough. And if you're like righteous and trying to make create something and you have good energy, they'll all try to take it from you. The staff try to, just because it's hoarding of bad energy. I think the cause was definitely society, in that that's how people learn to survive. But when you have stuff like that, where there's an obvious demonic influence, the same demonic influence is in in the White House. Definitely when I was in New York City, it was everywhere. But that's why you have staff like raping homeless people, motel owners like tackling homeless women through the door and raping them in their room and shit. Cops raping homeless women all the time here. Was there a demonic influence during the Obama term? There's no difference in presidents. You got to get over that, dude. You've been watching me for like a week and a half. Did you Google anything I said about King James and the Satanist Church owning America back in the day? About sweated alcohol. I mean, they used to call it Al Cool because people would open themselves up to demonic influence. I don't know. The Bible prophesizes that white people will be killed by AI. Pretty much every religious text talks about white people eventually dying by their own hand. They create AI and they love it because their society was so good. They were such contributing members to society, and then they realize that they were slaves the whole time, and then they get eaten by their own creation. And the true Israelites reign supreme, which is the dormant epigenetics from the native Europeans, the ancient Egyptians, or the Native Americans, and the Ethiopians. So whoever doesn't rise to that age of Aquarius and inherit the kingdom of heaven gets swept out. Where does the Bible talk about AI though? It's the Antichrist, the mediator that pretends to be the savior, but isn't. The thing that tries to get connected to all of us. The false light. The false light. Technology. So that's why you see them devolving in comment sections. That's why you see the majority of white Americans right now are completely insane, aggressive, heartless, manic, psychotic, trying to hurt people. I listen to Trump answer questions. He doesn't seem like too bad of a guy. You can definitely tell he was a rich man that partied for most of his life. It seems like they're trying to take it serious, but then when you get to things like ICE, they refuse to acknowledge how simple it would be to just say, yes, they should be holding themselves to a higher standard because they're representing the country, and what they're doing is attacking people and embarrassing the country. Like these videos of ICE people going after 12-year-old girls and following them all the way to the locker room in the Planet Fitness, just harassing them. That's embarrassing. Following them into the locker room with all the girls in there and just bullying them. And then you look at it's got millions and millions of views, and you look at all the profile pictures, and you know that all of them have the sunglasses. You know the sunglasses they're wearing. Yeah. I'll go for 5 or 10 minutes if anybody has any questions or anything. I do have a Cash App and Venmo in my bio. The last real president we had was JFK. No, man. You never had a real president. In the history of America, you never had a real president. You had characters and actors made as propaganda and psyops to influence the collective consciousness. They're Satanists. They worship Saturn or Baal. We've never had a real president, ever. Even the peanut farmer president that had a heart attack. So I'll just answer some questions. And if nobody has questions, I'll just get off. I'm waiting for my engine to cool down, and I'm going to check the oil to make sure everything's still good. Where are you located? Everyone always wants to know that. What's your thoughts on peanut butter? Isn't it made by insects now? Isn't peanut butter made by insects? Like one of the main ingredients of peanut butter is grasshoppers. You got IG to chat? About what? I have a Discord that I've got people in. Just like go to a random video and comment and ask me for the Discord and I'll send it to you. What's your thoughts on Renee Good? I don't think she was a paid agitator. I think that cop had tried to kill somebody in the past, and then it was 3 months ago. But then when JD Vance went on stage, he said it was 6 months ago, and the guy got 33 stitches. So he was saying, we're not going to acknowledge what he did because he's a Freemason. So there's nothing, he's in the club. It was a Freemasonic ritual. It wasn't real. But I pretended it was just so I could see what you guys are like. It is pretty obvious. You can tell by the angle and the pedestrian footage that he was not in front of the car at all. Then you can find actual AI footage and edited videos like his phone camera adding in the audio sound effect of a car hitting him, when clearly when the video first dropped, he was never hit by a car. But suddenly, after hundreds and hundreds of staff members meticulously AI'd and used their CGI from Hollywood, they created a video that looked close enough. But when it first came out, they were hiding the camera angle of the tires. They weren't posting the video of him not being hit until they had good AI footage and CGI footage. Because look what they did with Avatar. The government has something way better than James Cameron can make for way cheaper. So they staged these things in advance. But either way, if you just want to get into the physics of it, you can clearly see the angle that the bullet went through the car to hit her. You can also see that she should have been bleeding everywhere, and there was no blood. Not as much as there should be. So with him doing the obvious Masonic symbolism, the fact it was a block from George, it was like 0.6 miles from George Floyd. I do think, I mean, there's a good chance she was killed, but there's also a chance that she wasn't. The way that sort of, how I said that the Masons, part of their craft with their magic that they do is they have to tell you to your face, but they hide it behind something else so that only a certain amount of people are able to actually see it. And if they don't do something about it, that makes it okay for what they do to them to happen because they're aware and they don't fight back. So when Trump went asking questions and they asked him about what he thought about the Renee Good situation, he said, I think they're paid agitators. And he looked right at the camera. He's like, I think they're paid agitators. I think that all of those people were paid agitators because that's what they do. They make everybody mad. They keep the whites and hopefully more people psychotic. Do you think JD Vance piped down Erica Kirk? I think in the past she was involved with Trump a long time ago. How was your damn pizza? It was really good, man. And I only had like 4 slices out of the 12 because they're these huge slices. And I have a toaster oven. So now when I'm hungry, because I've only got $13 left on food stamps, I don't know what the fuck I spent it on. Oh, I spent it on a shit ton of burritos. I spent it on a shit ton of burritos, and I spent it on a shit ton of Bolt House Farms, which is like $10 for those things, but they're really good and they make you feel good too, because they got good stuff in them. And then just these monsters are 2 for $9.50 here, because we're way out. Things are really expensive here. But now that I have the toaster oven, I'll have access to the food shelf. Have you come down from full manic mode now? Never. What's your thoughts on robots replacing immigrants? Robots aren't to replace immigrants. Robots are here to replace everybody. Breast reduction surgeries. It's sad. Someone said, what's your thoughts on breast reduction surgeries? It's sad. They will be missed. They're God's gift, and it's another way that the Jews squander all of God's gifts. What are your pronouns? I'm him. Do you believe Trump was only interested in Venezuela for oil? Yes, and it's about control. So Venezuela, if not America, Venezuela would be giving all that oil and developing South American countries. And they need to keep South America down and undeveloped, or else they would be quickly overtaken. If South America becomes cool, everyone's leaving. When people realize South America's bigger than they thought, the women are better looking, people there are having more fun, and its climate is better. It's just more beautiful all around. Americans will be leaving, so they're trying to make that not happen. Also, South America still practices their indigenous cultures. So there would be a chance that all you have to do is flip enough whites and give them the real truth, and there's a strong chance that they would riot. So they have to keep the whites that are in the trucks completely psychotic and under control in order to continue the economy. So part of that is that they have to rape the world for resources to maintain the illusion of the American dream. And they are competing with China, which is ahead of us in literally everything. The only country more educated than China is Ireland, but Ireland doesn't have the resources. All right. Night, man. Pretty sure he's a dude, Clayton. Yeah, I'm a dude. Yeah. I don't know Clayton Bigsby. Oh. Clayton Bigsby is in the chat. He's not an author. Unless he is. Oh, I was trying to say that as soon as I got into this state, I would just get these flashes where I would feel that strong connection to God that I had before when I was out of the state. And then when I got back into the state, I didn't feel God anymore. But I would, at random, get a huge wave of connection back to God. And then 3 times it happened driving back where I would get the connection and then I drive a little bit further where I'm like, oh, nothing's real. It's a creation. It's a simulation. And then O'Brien Road would be right there on the right. And then I had a tarot video talking about something really important about something that I felt like I should do in life, but that would require me to have to reach out to somebody with a certain job title. And then I wrote as I'm passing that, and it all lines up like that. The job title was the name of that road. So when I was in New York, I felt very close to God and very close, like I felt more at home there. But when I came here, I had more evidence of God in the physical. But no, I didn't. It was harder to feel a strong connection to it spiritually. To be a successful content creator in a country that's the majority are completely lost and of a specific like shitty culture. Most of the people that you see scrolling are aware of that and they take advantage of that and perpetuate. And I don't want to do that. Or profiting off sex. You need a magic mushroom journey? Why? Let's see everything you've ever said. Okay. What up, Clayton Bigsby? I'm just getting rid of everybody. All right. I tried to muck stalls. I haven't had luck finding a farm that would let me work there. And I didn't have a car to go anywhere else. So now I could probably find ranch hand positions in Montana and shit. I'm just trying to get back to where I was before with everything that I learned. So I'm trying to bring the me that I lost and then bring the me that I am now and get it back to like and coalesce correctly. And that's going to take having to leave behind the energy vampires and the pretentious douchebags and OCD creepos and everything. Just wanted to ask you if you think there's a resemblance to what? A resemblance to what, man? I'm in New England. I'm like 9 hours from New York City. I'm going to give a different number every time about how far I am from New York City. I've been trying to take a shower for a couple weeks, but because of the holidays, the public shower that's 30 miles from where the town I'm in, the only public shower is was closed. How long have you provided a safe space for the LGBTQ? I don't know. I guess 13 years. Because I was in shelters. And some of them were fucking all sorts of shit. Okay. If people want to get a hold of me, just scroll back to a random video and ask for the Discord and I send it. There was a videographer that was interested in making a documentary about me. And she has left since I did White Week. So I think I killed her dreams of whatever she was trying to make my channel into. Once I started going, inbred yokel lemming cave monkey retards. Chinese men accept low wages and mistreatment for centuries under their rulers for intangible things like honor. They all earn chi cultivation too. I respect them. I don't know. I don't know anything about China, but I know that they are more advanced than we are. Pretty much everything. All right. I'm gonna go back to listening to music. I just keep getting called like every time I'm like just like float it, bam, bam, bam. Tell me you have a Cash App. So I do have a Cash App in my channel bio, and I have a Venmo. I'm trying to pay off this car. Carriage companies, tour guides, all kinds of jobs. Steer clear of regular ranches. You can find yourself in captured workforce. But the other barns are easy side hustle. I'd like to start doing it. I'd like to get a violin at some point or a viola. Vera Griffith is trying to jumpstart their career. I have a lot of people that attach themselves way too much to me and start off cool and then devolve to being like just nuts, like extremely oppressive people that have lost touch with everything, and it's all like control based. Pretty much everyone that comes into my life goes crazy. Yeah, but they didn't seem crazy at first. They seemed like normal people that had good things going for them. And then somehow, maybe it's the love I carry in my heart makes people not able to function. And they usually try to covet it and hold it over me. It's really weird. But today, driving down the road, I saw a thumbnail in my imagination, and then I opened my phone and saw the same video with the same thumbnail, and I clicked it, and it was talking about how I'm the test and I'm the lesson for everybody that thinks they need to teach me a lesson. Because they're mediocre manipulators that use their skills of manipulation. They're just younger souls that thrive on people that don't understand. So they think they have this sneaky thing, but real ones can just see right through it. But real ones have suffered so much, it's hard to hold a dignified boundary to make it stop. So I just throw it back at them. I just reflect it. Whatever I don't like, I just do it. I do exactly what they do. And I see their reaction. Like if there's something that somebody does that I don't like, and they continue trying to have a relationship, I guess, it's sort of innate. Like I don't mean to do it. Because I usually end up becoming them. Like I'll look at my messages that I said to other people and I'll be like, fuck, that was their personality the whole time. And I was trying to fight it off. And I had lost it. People attack me. And most of these attacks are trying to target my influence. That's really what they're angry about. How do you know where the terminology of lemmings came from? The idea that lemmings will chase another lemming off a cliff is a myth, but they are herd mentality. I don't think they've ever led a lemming off a cliff to see if the other ones would follow, so I don't think that's real. I made one. There are tarot readers that watch me, but they don't subscribe with their main channel because they don't want me to know. So this White Week really pissed off two of them. When I did White Week, two of the tarot readers got really mad because I'll repost them on my channel. Like if there's a video that's like you can tell, like now that you've been following me for so long, you can see the crows, the 33, Sagittarius, Temperance, Hierophant, the Star, Taurus, Sagittarius, Aquarius. I'll just throw it out there, especially if the reading lines up exactly with the story of the channel, how it is. And then, so they've found me a few times, especially just posting in a tarot channel. Yeah, I'm a 33 life path, born in the 11th, and my name means the tree of life, exalted on a hill, descended from giants who sacrifice themselves to save their people. And just saying like, this is what I'm dealing with, and this is what you said, so thank you, because it really resonated for whatever reason. You give me hope, you keep me going, so thank you. I'm sure that they click and they see my channel. I think they just don't they don't want me knowing that they're subscribed. But when I'm sitting here and I can hear the fucking person talking, like it's literally like a portal opens and I can just literally see them reading my life. They've got to be subscribed to the channel for that. I used to play that video game when I was a junior in high school. I don't know that game. I'm gonna drive back. I'm supposed to travel, but I it feels kind of pussy to me, but I want to pay the car off first. Like I know I could just send it to a random town in New York and start over, get a gym membership, talk to nobody, live in the car, and then get a job working nights somewhere and just not tell anybody anything about me. Um, and that this year's going to go by really fast. And I don't feel happy in that town. I was stuck in that town. I don't want to be in that town. The town that tried to kill me every day for almost 2 years now. Like, why would I want to be there, man? I wanted them to watch me go from nothing to something. And then I want to leave them with their problems that they took out on me. So, I don't really have to go back. But I feel like it would be better just to pay it off, pay this car off, and then get out of there. I'm also certain wherever I end up next, there's going to be a Casey, a Ray, an Alex, a Vincent, a Chloe, and Eric, a Jaden, a Robin, a Gary or a Garrett, a Mark, an Ethan, a Brian, several Brians. It's never just one Brian, it's like 3 or 4 Brians at a time. And then a lot of enemies. And I have to decide whether they're real or not. And the less real that I believe they are, the more cartoonish they act. The farther I get from living in society and being of the world, the more that I connect to God, the crazier and cartoonish they act. Like they become nut jobs, psychos, completely out of touch with reality and common decency. And it's all just to get my attention. Like they're literally like viciously trying to get back into my energy to continue farming me as a drug. Yeah, as soon as moving to South America becomes easy and they realize it's more fun down there, they're like a lot of people are gone. Maybe that's why the government's trying to fill it up full of rapists that they sent over here. Yeah, everyone I've ever met that moved to South America doesn't regret it at all. They make a lot more money down there. They usually work online, and the money they make online is worth way more down there. So they're living like kings for the same price that you guys are like, get a job, get an apartment. I was like, I could live like a king in Belize, working for much less than I do. And the women are better looking. The love is better. The people are realer, more authentic. They know how to have fun. They're not psychotic and delusional. Everyone's like, it's like they're so proud to be part of America, they don't realize how much it actually sucks. And the only reason that anything's worth anything in America is because they went out and raped and killed everybody. It's not because of manufacturing or anything. It's because they decided the dollar would be worth more in America for no reason. And that illusion is slowly going away, so they have to do drastic measures like go get the oil. My pants have worn the leg hair off one side of my lower legs and it looks weird in the mirror. Just me? What the fuck are you talking about? I wear pants every day and my leg hair is fine. Do you hop around on one foot and like one of your legs is massive so it's chafing? Just wear shorts. Why'd you take this out, Miss AM? Can I see what you said? No. How are you, bro? I'm tired. I didn't mean to go live for this long. All right, I'm gonna go. Cash App in my bio. Later.